Today, gorgeous folks, I will be sharing my tuna and vegetable stew recipe. It's not any other recipe, it's packed with natural flavors, and the method that I use is so unique. Hello again, and welcome to my creative African cooking channel, Ndudu by Fafa. Now, you will find the transcript of this recipe, including the list of ingredients and measurements, on my blog, fafagilbert.com. So do check it out. And whilst you're there, please don't forget to subscribe for updates. Thank you. So let's start with the list of ingredients. So here I do have my cumin seeds, my smoked dry shrimps, aniseed. I'm using one large white onion. I've got some garlic that would get rid of vampires, but you need to get rid of those as one has to. And then I've got some red peppers. The next thing is I've got my mild chilies. You can use your habanero chili or scotch bonnets, that's up to you. And I'll be using baby plum tomatoes. Next ingredient is my organic ginger, which would add that residual heat to my dish. So now let's do some blending, frying, tossing, turning, everything and in between. Yes, okay. So I've added my smoked shrimp, my aniseed and cumin seeds. And guess what? I'm going to add a little bit of my oil. And that's going to make for an easy blend. And it's also going to cut my cooking time in half. Exactly. For the vegetables, I've got my carrots, my chopped and sliced red onions. I've got my multicolored peppers, or may I say bell peppers, the red, golden, green. And I've also got my French beans. So for the next ingredient, I've transferred 3 tins of tuna in oil to a bowl and then placed my saucepan on that medium to low heat. I'm going to add a little bit of oil and then add my onions. You know what? Yes, we're going to be starting infusing the flavors. I did mention that this is a unique process, right? Exactly. Now you'd find out why. So here I've got the onions and here I'm adding my carrots. These two ingredients, they have this natural sweetness that they do lend to the dish. And as a base, yes, I need to make sure I get the most out of them. So the next thing I'll be adding will be some salt, and that would quicken that infusion process. Yes, it's going to allow the carrots to relax and go like, hey, onion, just take it. Just take it. And onion's like, yes, I told you I could make you cry. Anyway, I had to separate the fight. Yes, there is a story. So I had to add the tomato puree. Yes, and that was like a happy medium there because the tomato puree has this sweet, acidic taste to it that just balances it. So each and every ingredient there is kind of happy to be there, you know? So yeah. Now, to even just make it more interesting, I've just added the oil of my tuna. So, the tuna oil, yes, exactly. Whether I'm getting my words right or not, I think you do get the gist. Anyway, so I added the tuna oil to the mixture and I'm just mixing it all together. I'm going to allow this to fry for about 5 minutes. When the oil separates from that mixture, that is indicative of a perfect base. So at this point, I do add my chili flakes. You can omit the chili flakes, especially if you've used your habanero chili or scotch bonnets. But then again, if you want it really spicy, you can leave that in there. And yes, I've just mixed it all together. And I think this is ready for me to add my tomato base. Now, because we did blend the tomato and the onion base mixture with a little bit of oil, it makes for a quick, frying process here now. So, of course, I've just added that and I've mixed everything together until it's well combined. And then I've just added some bay leaves. Yes, they're going to add the aromatic flavor to the dish. Now I'm cooking this on that medium to low heat, yes. And because you just don't need to cook it on that very high heat. It's not necessary because you need to cook everything to that right time and temperature, So I did taste it and it did require a little bit more salt. So it's exactly what I've done. So you always add salt to taste. And it's important that, whilst cooking, you do taste your dish. Yes. So you can salt it accordingly. Now, after slow cooking my mixture for about 8 minutes, I then add my tuna flakes, yes. And I'm just going to cook this gently for another 8 minutes on that medium to low heat, just to allow the flavors to permeate and go through. It's a marriage here. I know they were fighting before, but now they really have made up. And after 8 minutes of slow cooking, I now add my French green beans. Yes, they need at least about 5 minutes to cook through. So I'm just going to mix it all together and cover this, trap in that steam and allow this to slow cook till it's el dente and just perfect, because you need that green beans to also have the crunch. Yes, and you can tell that I'm coming almost to the end of this recipe, because the next things that I need to add will be my onions and my multicolored bell peppers, may I say, the red, gold, green. Yes, and I'm just going to be mixing everything together until it's well combined. Now, if you've watched this to this point, I appreciate you so much. Thank you ever so much for doing so. Now at this point, I'm mixing everything together and I'm just going to be cooking this for about 3 minutes just to allow the vegetables just to cook till it's perfect. So you will notice that it's still crunchy. I've got a surprise for you guys at the end. Exactly. So you need to watch to the end. Yeah. Now you think I'm done here. Yeah, normally one word. But no, it had to rain some fresh basil. Now, as I always say, herbs are the last thing you add to your dish so that they retain their flavor to that dish. So just imagine biting into this and biting into a fresh basil. You know you're in heaven. And you know this is not any other food. Ndudu ogblo but enye ya. Nini na ako no ne. Izibana ye kan onye no. Idiane na ye kan emi. This is not any other food. It's Ndudu by Fafa in also many Guinean languages. Absolutely. So what are you going to be serving this with? Please leave your comments below, because I bing waha it be a BNA surprise. You will notice a new branding thing happening. Yeah, so you can shop for some of our merchandise, which would help support this channel so I can bring you more amazing content. You've got a water bottle, you've got a tote bag, you can go shopping with it. Yes, absolutely beautiful design. And I designed it myself, by the way, yes. So naturally, as I mentioned, I'll leave the list of ingredients and measurements on my blog, fafagilbert.com, so do check it out. I'll also leave a link in the description box where you can get some of the merchandise, because your support is greatly appreciated and needed, absolutely. Now, you will find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat as Ndudu by Fafa. So do pass by and say hi. I won't bite. Yes, it's fun there as well. And yes, there's a big thank you that I always have to portion to Narelle for creating the theme song for Ndudu by Fafa. Appreciate you a lot. And until my next video, you take care of you. You be nice, you be beautiful. Make sure if you're eating, you're cooking an Ndudu recipe, because Charlie, idevi ankasa. Okay, me, I love you for you. Stay safe and take care of you.